Hello guys, in this particular video we will learn the high frequency response of CSCS multi-stage amplifier. CSCS, it means that I have two FET connected one after another, right? So two FETs connected one after another, that forms a cascade mode which forms two-stage amplifier which improves your gain. At the same time, I'm using FET, so I am improving the input impedance at the input of first stage, right? So let's start with the circuitry, with the analysis at the high frequency side. Okay. So we have this particular circuit in front of you. The first stage comprises of R1, R2, RD1, RS1, CC1 and J1. J1 is nothing but the JFET, right? So this particular circuit is connected with RC coupling, that is with CC2, and the resistances R3 and R4 along with the stage 2 circuit. That stage 2 circuit comprises of R3, R4, RD2, RS2, and along with the obviously the heart of the amplifier, that is nothing but the JFET, right? So as far as this circuit is concerned, we don't have to do the AC analysis of only the gain and input impedance and output impedance, that we have already covered. We have to calculate what will be the higher cutoff frequency from this particular circuit, right? So first of all, we'll calculate how many RC circuits we have in this particular circuit at the higher frequency side. So we'll have to analyze how your high frequency will result in this particular operation of this circuit, right? So as I'm saying that your frequency increases, right? So let's see that if frequency is equal to infinity, ideally, okay, if frequency is equal to infinity, can I say that all the values of capacitive reactances will become zero, right? So all the external capacitances will become short circuited, right? And any other capacitances are there in my particular circuitry? No, right? With your naked eyes, I will not get all the capacitances except CC1, CC2, CS1, CS2 and CC3, right? Only 5 capacitance are there in front of my screen, right? So I can say that all the values, all the capacitances are short circuited. Then is there any effect on my amplifier operation? No. Rather than that, I can say that there will be exact coupling between your stage 1 and stage 2. So all the coupling and bypass capacitances are not responsible to calculate the higher frequency side response of my amplifier, right? Rather than that, there are few capacitances are inbuilt in your FET, that is transistors mein I have the junction capacitances. So these junction capacitances are very responsible for calculation of higher frequency cutoff, right? So I have 3 terminals of the JFET, right? So this is your gate, this is your source and this is your drain. I will do the Namakaran D1, S1 and G1 for stage number 1. I can say that in between gate and drain, I will be having one capacitor. I will do the Namakaran as CGD1, gate to drain capacitance for stage number 1. So CGD1. In between this drain and source for stage 1, I will be getting CDS1. Similarly, G and S for stage number 1, I will be getting CGS1. Very simple. Now we have to look at this particular capacitors. I state that if frequency increases, then ideally if frequency is equal to infinite, then X is equal to 0. Then can I say that all the terminals of the BJT, all the terminals of FET, of course, will get short circuited? Then what? FET will be short circuited, then your brain is damaged, drain of amplifier is damaged. Then how this circuit will work as an amplifier? Not at all possible. So I have to decide at up to what particular frequency my circuit will work very fairly as an amplifier, right? To give the perfect voltage gain, to give perfect output, right? So that's why we want the high frequency analysis. So in high frequency analysis, we are dealing with these particular capacitances, obviously for stage 1 as well as stage 2. So for stage 2, we will be having same CGD2, CDS2 and CGS2, and then we will move further how to calculate the value of FH, that is higher frequency cutoff. Okay. So these are the capacitances formed by stage 1 and stage 2. We will convert this particular circuit in your AC equivalent model, and then we will try to get whether we are getting some RC network or not, how many RC networks we are getting. Depending on how many RC networks, we'll be getting how many frequencies at the higher side will be getting as a cutoff frequency, right? So these cutoff frequency will decide the perfect value of the voltage gain up to that particular frequency. Okay, so let's move towards the next slide. Here we'll be having the AC equivalent model. I haven't drawn the capacitor in this particular circuit, right? So we'll draw the capacitors in between gate and drain, in between gate and source, right, in between drain and source for stage 1 and stage 2. Then we'll get to know that how to deal with this particular circuit to calculate the higher cutoff frequency, right? So we'll draw this particular circuit. We'll complete this circuit by just drawing the internal intrinsic capacitors. So CGD1 will say this is nothing but your CGS1. Here I can say this is nothing but CDS1. Similarly, I will draw it over here. This is nothing but the CGD2. Then here we'll be getting CGS2. Here I will be getting CDS2. Okay. Now we have two more capacitances will be framed in this particular AC equivalent model. Rather than that, is practical capacitances will be getting by contact capacitances, right? Whenever stage 1 is connected in cascade with stage 2, there will be a contact wiring capacitances, right? So that one capacitance will be getting, that is called as wiring capacitor at the input as well as output side. So whenever stage 1 is connected to stage 2, either you can say that it is nothing but the wiring capacitor at the output side of stage 1 or input side of stage 2. So I am writing this as CWI2. So it's nothing but the wiring input capacitance at stage 2, right? So that is nothing but the CWO1. Okay. Now similarly, this input is connected somewhere to your input power supply. So I can say that there also we will be getting the capacitance, right? And that capacitance forms your CWI1, wiring capacitor at the input side. Similarly, at the output side, we'll be getting another capacitance, that is nothing but CWO2, that is wiring capacitor at output of stage 2. Okay, as far as all the capacitances at the higher frequencies are concerned, we'll have to learn how we will be getting, how many RC circuits we will be getting, and how I can find out the higher frequency cut. Two capacitances CGD1 and CGD2 are in between the gate and drain. So whenever we get the circuit, whenever we get the component in between gate and drain or base and collector in BJT, we try to convert that particular component at input as well as output side using one theorem that is called as Miller's theorem, right? So we have studied that Miller's theorem. Just learn that Miller's theorem, pause the screen, learn the Miller's theorem, and then come to me. Okay. Okay. Now we have the knowledge about the Miller's theorem, right? So CGD1 I want to replace at the input side. CGD1 I have to replace at the output side as well. But the value will no longer as CGD1 only, right? We have to change the value of CGD1 when we are taking at the input side and output side as well. So what we will do, we will convert this into Miller's equivalent capacitance, right? So we will say that CGD1 gets converted into CMI1 and CMO1. So basically CGD1, I will cut this particular component right? I'll open this component, and instead of this particular arrangement, I will place this capacitor with a different value as CMI1 at the input side and CMO1 at the output side. So what will be the value of CMI1? Okay, the question arises how to calculate the value of CMI1. Okay, the CMI1 is nothing but 1 minus AV1 multiplied by CGD1, right? Now, keep this in mind that whenever you are calculating the value of AV1, don't consider this as this output voltage divided by VI. No. Whenever our signal is placed in between this gate and the input voltage supply, then we don't have to consider VI into picture whenever we are calculating the value of AV1 as far as this CMI1 is concerned. Okay, so I will give the namakaran for this particular AV1 differently. We can say that this voltage is VY and this voltage is Vx. So I can say that AV1 is equal to Vy divided by Vx. Okay, so there you may get wrong answer if you are considering Vy divided by Vi directly as AV1. No, you don't have to consider this R signal, right? So let's see AV1 we have got the CMI1, we have got the value of CMI1. Now we will proceed further for the CMO1. Okay, similar to CMI1, we will move to calculate the value of CMO1. This CMO1 is nothing but 1 minus AV1 inverse, right? 1 minus AV1 inverse multiplied by CGD1. Here only one change is AV1 के बदले I will have to write AV1 का inverse. Okay, so again here AV1 is equal to Vy divided by Vx, right? So I can say that I will cut this part, right? And instead of that, I will draw another capacitance and I will name this as CMI1, right? And also at the output side, I will draw another capacitance that is nothing but CMO1. Very simple, right? Now let's move ahead. We solve this ambiguity, we solve this problem which was arised due to CGD1. Okay, now your picture as far as stage 1 is concerned is very clear, right? So let's see at the input side of stage 1, we will be having CGS1, CMI1 and CWI1 connected in parallel, and along with this 2 resistances are there. Yes, we have got the first RC circuit through which we can easily calculate the value of first high cutoff frequency. Okay, let's move further and further whether it is possible to remove this CGD2 as well. Yes, why not? This CGD1 is same as that of CGD2. Connection of CGD1 is in between gate 1 and drain 1, and CGD2 is placed in between G2 and D2. Also here also I can use the Miller's theorem, but instead of having AV1 I can use the AV2. Okay, so here I can say that just I'll make some change. I'll say that instead of having CMI1 I can say that CMI2. Here instead of having AV1 I will use AV2, right? Instead of having CGD1 here I will use CGD2, right? Similarly here CMO1, instead of CMO1 I will write CMO2. Instead of having AV1 I will write AV2 का inverse. Okay, CGD1 के बदले we will be writing CGD2. Very simple. Now question arises, yes, how to calculate the value of AV2? Now I will change the value of AV2. We just have to consider, let's say this is VP, this is your VQ. Okay, so your AV2 will become VP divided by VQ. Okay, your value of AV2 will become VP divided by VQ. Rest of the part is same. Okay, so once we get the value of CMI2, here CMI2 will become 1 minus AV2 multiplied by CGD2. Okay, similarly CMO2 is equal to 1 minus AV2 inverse multiplied by CGD2, right? CMI1 I will connect between G2 and S2. CMO2 I will connect between D2 and S2. Okay. One more silly question will come in your mind, that if I am saying that resistances at the source are there, why we have to place this as towards the ground directly as a source, right? So source is directly connected to ground because this all the coupling capacitors, bypass capacitance I am doing short circuited, right? So if this is short circuited, then obviously source resistances will become redundant. So that's why source S1 and S2 directly connected to the ground part. Okay, now let's come to the conclusion that how many RC circuits we will be getting. We will be getting 3 RC circuits through which we will be getting 3 higher frequency high cutoff frequencies, right? First RC circuit we will be getting at the input side of the stage 1. Second RC circuit we will be getting in between input of stage 2 and output of stage 1, that is nothing but here, right? And the third RC circuit will be getting at the output of stage 2, okay, that is here. Okay, so we will draw one by one and then we will calculate what will be your higher frequency cutoff one by one with one particular RC circuit 3 times. So let's see a part, that is nothing but input of stage 1. So input of stage 1 we will draw first. So here we will say that this is your R signal, right? And we will say that this is your RG1, right? And here we will be getting the capacitances. One is CMI1, second is your CWI1, and another is in between gate and source of 1. Okay, so here I can say that this is nothing but your RC circuit with 3 capacitances are connected in parallel and RG1 and RS1 are connected in parallel. So I can say that directly will write your fundamental formula for frequency 1 upon 2 pi RC. What will be the value of R? R is nothing but R signal parallel to RG1. Your value of capacitor is nothing but the addition of all the capacitances, that is CWI1 plus CMI1 plus CGS1. Simple, right? So once we get these two values, now my FH1 is very clear to you all, right? Let's move to the second RC network, that is in between stage 1 and stage 2. So in between stage 1 and stage 2, we are getting this particular part of AC equivalent model, where RD1, RG2, CWI2, CGS2, CMI2, CMO1 and CDS1, all 5 capacitors will be placed in parallel along with the parallel combination of RD1 and RG2. So this circuit is also same as the previous circuit, where we will be getting 2 resistances connected in parallel. I can say this is RD1, this is your RG2 connected in parallel, and the capacitances, we have ample of capacitances here. First one is your, let's say, CWI2 wiring capacitor of the stage 2. Then I can say that this is nothing but CDS1 drain to source capacitance. Then we will be getting the Miller's output capacitance of the stage number 1, MO1, Miller's input capacitance of the stage number 2, that is replacement of CDS2, that is nothing but CMI2, right? And one more capacitance is nothing but the in between gate and source of stage number 2. So here we'll be getting the another capacitance whose name is CGS2. Okay, so here we don't have much space, so let's see to it that this is CWI2, CDS1, CMO1, CMI2, CGS2. So all these 5 capacitances are placed in parallel, and I can say that ultimately we will be getting the value of frequency FH2 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi RC, that is fundamental formula. R is equal to RD1 parallel RG2. C is equal to, here 5 capacitances will be placed in parallel, that means 5 capacitances ka simply addition. Okay, so we will say that this is nothing but CWI2 plus CDS1 plus CMO1 plus CMI2 plus CGS2, right? So B part is clear. Okay, up till now we have completed A part and B part. That means we got two kind of frequencies from input of stage 1, in between input and output stage, and now we will be getting output of stage 2 वाला RC circuit से क्या frequency मिलता है, right? Let's see the output of stage 2. This is nothing but the Namakaran of the third circuit. We will try to draw the third circuit, which comprises of this RD2, CWO2, CDS2, and obviously CMO2. Okay, so this will be same as that of input FH1, right? So instead of having our signal and RG1, we will be having RD2, and optional is, if it is given, we will draw the RL, right? So if given, we will say that RL in parallel with RD2, right? And then we have the capacitances. How many capacitances we have? First capacitance is nothing but CDS2, right? CDS2. Then we will be having wiring capacitor, that is CWO2 at the output side, and the Miller's capacitance, which is a replacement of CGD, right? So it is nothing but CMO2. All are connected to ground, that means all three are connected in parallel combination. So simply we will write the FH3 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi RC, where R is equal to the parallel combination of RD2 and RL, right? If RL is given, okay, and C is equal to CDS2 plus CWO2 plus CMO2, right? This is how we have calculated the value of FH3. Now question arises that obviously if RL is not given, we just have to write the value of RD2, right? So we have got the value of FH1, FH2 and FH3. Now we come to the conclusion that whether FH1, FH2 or FH3 we have to consider as higher frequency cutoff. So we will say that your higher frequency cutoff is nothing but the minimum value of all the three values that we have got from the 3 RC circuit, that is nothing but FH1, FH2 and FH3. So out of these three values, which one is minimum, that I have to consider it as your higher cutoff frequency. So for example, we will be saying that if FH1 is equal to 100 kilohertz, right, FH2 is of 500 kilohertz and FH3 is of 1 megahertz, that have been calculated from particular value of R and C, right? And then about the conclusion, how can I conclude that? Yes, FH1 will be my higher cutoff frequency. So this particular frequency, I will treat it as higher cutoff frequency, and once we get the higher cutoff frequency and low cutoff frequency, we can easily draw that particular frequency response, and I can decide what is the bandwidth of my particular amplifier circuit. So in this particular video, we have learned how to calculate the frequency at the higher side, that is higher cutoff frequency, and how to decide the higher cutoff frequency out of multiple higher cutoff frequency in my multi-stage amplifier. So thank you so much for watching this particular video. Learn more and more EDC2 with Ekeeda videos. Thank you so much.